Texas because I say y'all. Anybody originally from Texas?
Yes.
Everybody? Be proud about it, loud about it. Anyway, not me. Awesome. I'm trying to get this mic on. Hello. Hello. I think. Did we get it? Okay. So, we work a little bit better in our meetings when we have the mic on, even if there's only 4 people there. It's like, can y'all hear me? But truly, I'm excited to be here. As Robbie said, my name is Rheanonda Johnson Gray. I come to you all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. Somebody get excited. Get excited. And before I tell you about me, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really want to thank you. Because as an employee of Mary Kay, y'all are really our heartbeat. You really are. Because we can't really do effectively what we do if you don't do what you do. So when we call you on the phone, we love listening to Mary Kay's voice, and you come right on when she's saying something real profound. I'm like, can you put me on hold again? But we have situations because we work with people, and so we need your input and your expertise to help us figure it out. Because when we do great things for our company, through our company, it's because it's the joint effort of both of us. The sales force and our corporate staff. So I'm going to applaud you. How about that? So also, I want to thank our Sapphire and even our sales development, Robbie. When you own a business for yourself, you don't know it all, but you have great resources. And sales development is our great resource. We will call them in a heartbeat. And I love it when I call people and they call me back. Wouldn't you appreciate that? So I thank you, Robbie. I thank you, John. I thank all of you for just being our extended, resource. So can y'all applaud them again? Absolutely. And I want to thank my nephew, Chandler. He is here with me. He is my sounding board. Y'all would not believe this. I know you probably thought when I walked up here and said, she is 27. So if you did the math, I've been in the business 26 years. I started when I was 1. But no, Chandler grew up in Mary Kay. His mom is my sister, and he was actually raised in this business with us and just has learned so much. His wife is a beauty consultant. So we do run a family business. So Chandler, thank you again for being here with me. So hasn't this been fun? Have y'all learned a lot? Did you know that when you started, when you signed on to this, that there was all of this to learn about Mary Kay? He's like, maybe. But you know what? It's true. Even in the sales force, people think that, we just drive pink cars and sell lipstick. Well, you know what? It's so much more than that. So much more than that. This is a life business. It really is. And so, we just didn't drop out of the hat being excited and being ignited and looking cute and all that stuff. We learn those things. You would never believe this, and maybe you would. But I grew up a tomboy. I didn't like girls. I grew up with brothers, and they taught me how to fight, how to jump out of trees, how to eat mud, cleanse your system real good. And so it wasn't until I was a young teenager, my mother said, you're going to become a young lady if it kills both of us. So she put me in charm school, and that's where I really learned a love for, cosmetics, skincare, all of those things. And not knowing that it would lead to a life in Mary Kay. And I would say, God, you have such a sense of humor. Because I didn't even like to wear dresses. I had my hair in a ponytail. That's it. That was me. But I learned and I got introduced to Mary Kay as an adult, a young adult. In high school, I had an unfortunate accident. I took a job that my mother told me not to do. I started working at the Jack in the Box, and because I wanted to have my own money. And so while I was there, I actually got burned in my face. I had 3rd-degree burns on the right side of my face. Isn't that something? to go through high school with third-degree burns and people telling you, hey, Scarface, you're not kind. But I'm so glad that I was more confident in that because I was a tomboy, and if I didn't like it, I could beat him up. I later graduated, went to school, and I ended up working at American Airlines. I started working there as a reservations agent. And there I met a Mary Kay lady. And she said to me, she said, you know what, I have something that probably could remove, because it looked like birthmarks, that could help you with that. And so I got on Mary Kay skincare system. And y'all, I kid you not, that system was, I said, I don't know what's in it, but I want to make sure I never run out of it. So for 5 years, I used Mary Kay skincare products. And it removed, not only did it remove those scars, but because they weren't embedded. I found out it was just dead skin that was still there. It wasn't embedded. And so I found out that not only did it do that, but it just made my skin look so flawless. So I would never be without my Mary Kay. I had like 6 beauty consultants. Can you tell I'm extreme? I had 6 beauty consultants, which means if she didn't have it, I called this person. If she didn't have it, I called that person. So I didn't want to be without it. And so, but the thing about it, and which was a lesson, and I teach this all the time, is that no one ever talked to me about the business. I bought a lot of product, but no one ever talked to me about the business. What we do in our business, we host parties. Nobody ever asked me to host a party to get something free. So, long story interesting, my husband, who's been my man for 27 years married, 32 together, and he's still my boyfriend. And he still looks good using all the Mary Kay products, okay? He's my walking advertisement. But my husband was a musician at the time for church, and I sang on the worship team. And so he was interviewing for this one church, and I met a lady there, and we sat next to each other, and we started talking, and you know how we do. So what do you do? And so she said, well, I'm in Mary Kay. I told my husband, I said, you don't have to look anywhere else. God has spoken. This is the place. Because I knew I could get my products like right from her. Right from her. And so she was the one that said, you know what? Since you love it so much, why don't you host a party and I'll give you some free stuff? I said, really? I didn't know you could do that. And I did. And my sisters came, my neighbor was there. And you know how you have some family members that always say, do you have any money? Do you have any money? I know y'all don't have that. Your family's all cashed up, right? But what was interesting is that my family, they were buying the Mary Kay. And she made some money that day. And I was like, I know these people. This must be really good for them to spend. You know, I knew I liked it. So she proceeded to say, you know, have you ever thought of becoming a beauty consultant? And I said, well, how do you do that? And she told me how it's done. And she said 2 things to me that made the decision for me was, number 1, you can get your products at a 50% discount. I love discounts. I love quality things at a great discount. And she said you can get a tax write-off. At that time, I needed a tax deduction. I had only been married a year. And, you know, I was used to, as a single woman, getting a little something back. And my husband was used to paying. When we joined together, guess what happened? We were going to have to pay. So I said I could divorce you and then we could remarry. And so, you know, that was a crazy thinking. But she said you can get a deduction. So those were the 2 reasons I started my Mary Kay business. But what I didn't know was all the things that Ravi was sharing with you that were available to me. So, and I did it for those 2 reasons, and kind of being a little stubborn, I stayed in Mary Kay and worked my business for those 2 reasons. And later on, I made myself available to learn more because at the time I was working for the airline. I was moving up the career path really fast. I promoted all the way to a manager, And I just knew I was going to be the first African American president of American Airlines. Well, they shot that down real quick. They said, we don't think so. So, you know how you do, you get discouraged. So I got a little discouraged, and I knew the next promotion that I would have to take, I'd have to move away. And that was not an option for me. Because what I didn't share with you is that when I joined Mary Kay, 8 months after I joined, my mother, who was only 60 years old, passed away suddenly of a brain aneurysm. And so I inherited my father, who was a quadriplegic. He had been a quadriplegic since I was 14. And so I immediately inherited the responsibility of taking care of him. And because I chose not to put him in a facility, but allowed him to stay in his home, I knew I had to do something different with my life and my career to be there for him. So I got a lot of help for him in the beginning to help me with him, but later on, being frustrated in my own job, and you know how when you get frustrated, it affects everything around you. So I knew I had to make a different choice. And that's when I decided to go full-time in Mary Kay. I decided to really learn this business and what it could do for me and my family and how I could bless others. And so because I did that and decided to promote to sales director, I was excited because this is the type of business that you get to decide. Nobody decides for you. So I did, and I started building my team, and we earned our second car, actually, earned our second car, and boy, we were real excited. Anybody been real excited? Was real excited. And what I love about this company, and my husband reminded me of that, he said, you've done a lot of things in your life, but Mary Kay has been the only business that has proven to do what it says. Isn't that something? So know that what you're a part of is more than just a job. It's a company that backs everything that they say that they're going to do. So be excited about that. This company doesn't go up and down because of the economy. You know, we're excited because the Dow can be dippy, it can be a dud, it can be whatever, but it doesn't affect who we are and what we do in this business. So just know that. And when I worked for the airline, it was always up and down. It was always based on the economy. You know, I was handing out pink slips to people and saying, now, if the pilots go on strike, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to come in tomorrow. And I had that fear come true to myself. I gave out pink slips, and guess what? I got one too. I'm like, and it's pink. So what does that tell you? Get out. No. So business was really, really great. Really, really great. I loved it. And as Robbie says, ups and downs, because we have highs and lows. Just because you're a part of something great, it doesn't exempt you from having issues. It's called life. And so I did have life in my life. But let me tell you another thing. When you see people that are part of Mary Kay in our position as a sales force, here's the greatest staying power for me, is because when I had those highs and lows and ups and downs, they never saw me any different. They always encouraged me, Rheanonda, it'll be fine. You will do it. It will be great. You'll get back there. Because things happen. Things happen. In the midst of all of that, going into director qualification, my husband suddenly had 2 blood clots on his brain. 2. And the first call I got was from my national rheumatologist, who said to me, Rheanonda, it's going to be okay. We're here for you. Whatever we need to do, we'll do it. And y'all, we came through that. We came through that. But they never said to me, well, you know, you were a little low last month, so we're going to have to come pick up that car and we'll get it back. Nothing. Mary Kay still took care of me and my family because of what we had built. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So just know that the loyalty that we have for this place goes deeper than what we do out there. Because this place affects our families. you impact our families. And we work harder because we're a family together. So we're not out there just getting all we can. We're out there working because we're a family. And I talk to my group all the time. I say, y'all, when we go to Mary Kay Corporate, when you walk through those doors, it's because of what we all have built. Nobody works for anybody. We're all family. When I see you at seminar, it's a hug like I've known you for 25 years, and I may have just met you yesterday. That's what you get. And y'all are gonna have so much fun. And just know seminar has no respect of person. We all are tired, our feet hurt. All of us get that, but we're excited together. So it has been such a great journey in all of that. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, I've had a lot of things happen, but I'm so glad that I chose this career because it is such a forgiving career. It's such an amazing sisterhood that we have and brotherhood. Because the greatest gift that I gave my husband was the gift of male friendship. And he found that. We found that in the Mary Kay. Y'all know how y'all as men go home if the Cowboys ain't winning, or if whatever your team is, you know, you may congregate with a few people, but you know, most men are kind of loners. They right? He said, I feel you, sister, I feel you. But to give that gift to my husband was really amazing, to be around other men that were supporting their wives. And it helped him figure out how to support me. Because we can be excited and ignited and stuff, and your husband's like, so how much did you make? I'm like, is that important? But it is amazing. But here's the thing, and this is why I said 8 years ago, I said, I'm in this for life no matter what. I am here and I owe it to this company to give this company everything I have, because how they have blessed my family and have blessed my life. So 8 years ago, I was having some issues. And as women, sometimes we have some issues. And I decided that I needed to have a surgery. Actually, my doctor did. And so we had earned a Cadillac, our next Cadillac, we had earned that, and things are going really good. And you know, all of that, and I was gonna go ahead and have the surgery so I could really work more because it was affecting me. So in the process of all of that, going in for the procedure, y'all, I actually, it was a day surgery, and I called it my glam surgery. Went in, was gonna go in 6, be out by 5 o'clock at home recuperating, and you know how we time ourselves. I think I'll take about 5 days and then I'll be ready to roll again. Well, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Somebody made a mistake and things happened. I ended up flatlining on an operating table. I actually died. I'm not a ghost, I'm a real person. I actually died for over 8 minutes. For over 8 minutes. So my lung on my left side collapsed and it caused my heart to immediately stop. So what was a day surgery, I ended up in critical care. I was on a ventilator for a day and a half on life support. And the interesting thing about that is that I couldn't speak because I had that, but all I could hear was this person out in the area saying, let me in, let me in. She's my daughter. And it was my national sales director out there begging to get in, to come and see me. And I was like, now you don't get this. My national was a Caucasian woman. I am not Caucasian. So you have to know that the nurses were kind of like, she's your daughter? Really? But she came in. She prayed over me. Her husband, Eddie, was there. My family didn't have to want for anything for months because of this heritage of Mary Kay. People took care of my unit for me. And because of the work that we had already created, the whole 6 months, I didn't do anything. I couldn't. I had to recover. The whole 6 months, Mary Kay never stopped paying me. My car never left my driveway but to go to the doctor, of course. Now, this is why we're so passionate about what we do, and we will always do it. So you don't ever have to worry about it. And it's not just my story. There are many stories because we have life. But we also have a company that has a heart. It is the heartbeat of Mary Kay Ash herself. Let me tell you, I met Mary Kay before I ever was introduced to the product or even the company. I knew about the company. I knew of her and the company, but I didn't know all the other. So when I worked at the airline, I used to handle VIP customers. And so, you know how we get in the run-up thing, you're working so fast, you just don't even look up sometimes. And so I was checking in the next person, and I just said, okay, I'll take your ticket, and got the ticket for an international flight, and I looked up and I said, you look like Mary Kay. And she said, I am Mary Kay. And I looked at you, sorry. But just when I became a part of the company and just going to see her at seminars and being a part of and listening to her, you don't expect anything less, because she set the bar high and she set the standard great, not just for the sales force, but for everyone who works under the name of Mary Kay. So just know that you're in the right place at the right time for the right season. And even though that we do it on this side, you're doing it on this side, and that makes for a happy marriage. So what you gotta promise me, because we don't get divorced in this family. We all stay married together. And so just promise me and the Mary Kay staff that you will give it your all. And I promise you that we will too. And together, we will see this company stay number one forever and ever, way past our lifetime. But what you will see is your children reap great benefits from your efforts, because I know mine will. I know mine will. So I want to thank you for having me today. And I just pray that something I said really touched your heart. And when it's tough, you'll think about this moment and you'll keep going. Because I certainly will be working with all of your faces in mind. Thank you.
We love gifts too.
Let's give future Executive Senior Sales Director, Rheanonda Johnson-Gray, another big round of applause. Does anyone have any questions?
Questions?
I wanted to know, how did you meet them?
You know what? I actually met Rena through my recruiter. Jenny McGee, and she was under Rena, and I went to an event with Jenny, and that's how I met Rena. And got to know her, and she was so funny. She says, Rheanonda, you are a very excited woman, and I'm gonna show you how to make money with that excitement. So I knew that she was gonna be my really good friend. She's an amazing woman. Any other questions? Yes.
I was just so interested in you said you're not looking for evidence. And just that experience, that's just wow. God is really
Right. And he knew this day was coming. He knew I needed to be here for this day. And so I live every day to get back to who we're right. So and I worked where I was. So instead of me trying to do it outside of my job, I was really able to build a business within that job with a lot of my colleagues. You know, I would put books in the break room. I would do quick facial appointments on our lunch break. So we have to be real creative, because really I believe like 85% of beauty consultants work another job, a full-time job. So we teach our consultants how to work it around and within what they already do, instead of trying to create something new. Because there's not enough time in the day to try to do that. So it worked for me, and I still have customers today that from the day I started Mary Kay, they're still working. Any other questions?
I got one. What's your typical day look like?
So my typical day, I'm not a morning person by choice. You know, I know you command your day, and I tried that din club and get up early. Well, I can do it now, But, I get up and every day, I get up early and I do my devotional. And, one of the things that, because I was so grateful to have my life back, I knew it wasn't just to be mundane. So I prayed and I said, God, what is it that I can do for you? How can I do? So, I started a 9 a.m. prayer call that I do it Monday through Friday, and a lot of our people and other people can get on that. And then at 10 o'clock till about noon, that's when I make my personal calls. I connect with my customers, I connect with reorders, and I may have an appointment from that 10 to 12 time. And then in the afternoon, from like 3 to 5, I connect with my consultants and talk to them in between their breaks or doing something like that. And then I have lunch appointments. So some days I'll have a lunch appointment either with a consultant and her guest, or I have a coaching appointment with her. So each day varies of what I do, but I get to choose that. And that's what I love about it. I'm a night person, so I still keep going. I take care of my husband and my dogs. I'm a dog lover. I have 3 dogs, 2 big ones and a little one. And so I do that. And then I host a meeting on Tuesdays. I host a meeting on Thursdays at my training center at 7 p.m. So I do marketing and facials during that time. Now, you might say, wow, that's a lot, but I do take off. I take off. Sundays is my day for me to relax, and Mondays is my day to do things in my home and take care of things like that. But everything cuts off just like you get off work at 5. I get off at 5 on Sundays and Mondays, and then I go back to doing what I need to do for the next day. So it is a planned thing that I have to sit down the day before and plan my next day so that I don't be scattered. So I do know the appointments that I have the next day from the day before. Does that make sense, Robert? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you.
What product are you most excited to share with people?
Well, you know, that's a hard one because I love them all. But for me personally, I love the microdermabrasion.
Me too.
I love that because, I mean, immediately gives your skin such a boost of not only softness, but smoothness. And so for women who don't like to do the glam look, but still want beautiful skin, you know, outside of cleansing, because we do everything outside of we cleanse, then the microdermabrasion would be my favorite. Yes.
Coming in and not knowing all the products that you're supposed to be selling, how did you grow to really explain to people what each product can do? I'm sure, you know, I come in and I go, I'm gonna do that, you know, I make that, but how does it go through that?
Okay. products all the time, new things and stuff, so we do test panels at our meeting to get the opinion, so I don't have to know it all, I just need to have a resource to it. So quite naturally, we have so many products, you gotta know everything. But what you don't know, you can quickly get your hands on, thanks to Mary Kay. Online, on the phone, everything, so, on paper. So that's how, I promote, and especially when we have new things coming out, like the new Chroma Fusion eye colors and stuff, and I'm like, it does this, it does that. I want you to tell me how it makes your eyes pop. I know how it makes my eyes pop. So we involve our customers, we involve our consultants, and so, and another thing we use is a third party, because there are some things that I can't use because of, just the allergic reaction. So I use it as a third person. I'm not able to use it, but I know that Stephanie, she has used it, and this is what she found, how it worked for her. So if it works great for Stephanie, I know it works for you. Did that answer your question? Yes.
So this is a group of new employees. So would you talk about the challenges that you face in your daily work that you would like employees to keep in mind?
Challenges, that I face in my daily work. Sometimes, we work with a volunteer army, of women, entrepreneurs. So they get to decide, on what they want. And a lot of times, when they're new, coming in, they're excited. You know how babies are when they're excited, they don't listen to you. When you say, talk to me, let me show you how to do this, and they just go and do it anyway, and they go in touch and they place a $93 order, and they wonder why they didn't get their discount. It's because at the top it said, talk to your sales director. So we get that a lot, of them just being excited, not knowing, and make it oops. And so when we call and say, I had this lady, she's so excited, but she did this, can we make this adjustment? So you'll get that from us because we work with people that are excited about a business, but are not always listening to the leader or the person that has the experience. So that's one of the things that we have. And I don't have a whole lot of challenges because I work to connect with my group and to reassure them in their business and to really make them feel great about it. So it's not like I have a whole lot of issues with that. I really don't. And I really talk to them about the heart of this company and how this company really can bless their lives. And I do tell them, be nice when you call. Mary Kay, you have to wait. Be nice. And, the person on the other end is the information person. They're not the ones that made this decision or that decision. Because here's another thing with my seasoned consultants. Why did they discontinue this? Why we don't have that anymore? Because you know what? When the company promoted it, they said what? Limited edition. Something about that limited edition that really just made sense in the beginning. So we get that. I'm dealing with that right now with these amazing lipsticks that we have, and we're out of the Furrow, and we couldn't get any more. And so we work to always keep the company on the up, that they have the best interest for all of us. And I just ask the same thing of you. Just echo what we say, because it is true. But where there's always somebody that wants to fire at you, but we want to put the fire out immediately instead of allowing it to flame. Did that answer the question?
Yes, ma'am, that did answer my question. Thank you.
Okay.
She was taking notes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Somebody back here. Yes.
I have a question, but it's more like personal question. I have a cousin, she lives in India, and she has some black pigmentation on her cheeks and forehead. It is on and off actually. She has been suffering from that since 7 years almost. And do we recommend any products that we have in Medicaid to make it off?
For the under eye,
No, for pigmentation on cheeks and forehead.
and it's dark.
You know, the microdermabrasion is really, really great. I have a customer, she's from India, and she dealt with a lot of the darkness, and it's hereditary, I found out. And so, but I got her on the skincare system and the microdermabrasion to help lighten that area up. Skin is beautiful today. If I gave you her name, you went on Facebook to see her, you'd be like, really? She had dark, where? But it is using the products consistently. Because, you know, and that's what you have to reiterate to her. You have to use it day and night. You didn't get that way overnight. It's not gonna change overnight, but over time, she will see amazing results. And this new 3D system, amazing. It's
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
So those two, I would
Thank you
recommend.
so much.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So as far as like either new product, you know, as the company grows and changes, or even the online tools, where do you feel a lot of energy from your team, I guess?
My team, because I've been in a minute with my team, they get excited about seasons more than anything. This is like the most excited season. We do online sales, but we are old school. We're more person to person, at the kitchen table type of group. But it's seasons. Like now, you know, we did a workshop last night with a bunch of ladies at my home putting things together to go and show to their customers. So it's more so in that we get really, really excited about. But we appreciate the online sales. I just got one the other day. I was like, whoa, an easy shift. Thank you, Mary Kay. So we don't discount none of that. That answer your question?
So, thank you first of all for everything that you're doing and for all the information that you shared with us. So us as a new employee group, I would like to know from your perspective, and I know that you're appreciating everything that the employees are doing the work, but from the sales force perspective, what do you feel that we can do better in order to help you with your business? What are your expectations from the corporate side? What we could change in order to better meet your needs, you know, because we are here to support you. So we want to understand from your perspective and your years of experience, what we could do different or like improve in order for you to have a better experience.
Well, you know,